guys, this is Sherry here, and I'm coming to you from my backyard in Long Island, and I want to talk to you about self-confidence, and I want to talk to you about instilling it in your children. I'm a big fan of positive reinforcement. I believe that children need to be taught through positivity. And I believe that I know a lot of people send their children to private schools or public schools, and some of you homeschool and whatnot. And there's nothing wrong with how you send your children to school, but I believe that you're leaving your children in the hands of an educator who should be encouraging your children. And a lot of times we find that they're not being encouraged in the right way. And I want to tell you a story about my son who, when he was in 5th grade, he's now in 11th grade. So this is an old story, but it will hit home and you'll understand. When he was little and when he was a baby, all he ever talked about was wanting to play the drums. The drums, he called them. I want to play the drums, like Pop Pop. I want to play the drums. My father-in-law was a really good drummer. He was on some famous albums. I mean, he was just amazing. So, of course, my father-in-law was really into it and everything, and, would teach my son how to play, how to hold the drums or the drumps or whatever. And by the time he got to elementary school, he was so excited that in 5th grade he'd be able to play the drums. So we got him lessons, and he would play he would get lessons twice a week. Now, a little backstory on my son: he has ADD, and with that came what we call 504 services, which is, he gets extra help in school to help him with his focus and to help keep him on task and help teach him how to stay on task. And I believe that when you leave your child with needs in the hands of an educator, that they should be teaching your children with lots of positivity and positive reinforcement and encouraging your children to be the best that they possibly can be. Because a lot of times children with disabilities, whether they're small little disabilities or large disabilities, don't have confidence in themselves because they're looking at all these other children that are so-called normal, and they're thinking, what's wrong with me? So my job as a parent was to make sure that my children had self-confidence, and I've always built my children up and always brought out the best in them, and always pointed out what their greatest qualities were and everything, and how they can always improve themselves, and always in a positive way. And I expect the same from the educators that are teaching my children. Well, this one teacher was teaching my son how to play the drums, and my son was going to lessons twice a week. And now it was about, I don't know, maybe a day or two. Actually, I think it was the day before the concert for 5th grade. And he comes home hysterical, crying, slams his books down. Now, he's a very quiet child and doesn't really show a lot of emotion unless he's been hurt, because he doesn't know how to express himself. He gets angry, and so he got really angry, and he said to me, "I'm not going to this, and it's stupid, and I'm not doing it." And I said to him, "Well, you committed, and they're expecting you to do this, and what happened that all of a sudden you don't want to be in the concert?" And I was thinking, oh my gosh, he realized he was going to be in front of an audience, and he's really shy, and maybe this is too much for him, so we need to have that self-confidence talk. But then he goes on to tell me that the teacher said that basically he sucked, pardon my French, and that he was no good, and that he'd never amount to anything, and he had put my son down, and my son was very upset about this. So he had only been home for about maybe 10 minutes, so I called up the school. I get the principal on the phone, and I said, I don't want to deal with you, not that I don't think this is an issue for you, but I'd like to talk to the teacher first. So she puts the teacher on the phone, and I said to the teacher, I said, you're an educator, and do you realize that my son receives 504 services? And if he's having trouble in your class, I should know about it, not the day before the concert, but weeks ago. I said, do you know that he's been going to lessons twice a week? He comes home and all he does is practice, and you're telling my son that he obviously doesn't practice because he doesn't know what he's doing? I said, that's not encouraging a child. You need to get to the bottom of why a child is doing what they're doing. And I believe that in doing that, you teach the child and encourage the child. This teacher didn't do that. And he was so negative with my son that to this day, my son has not touched the drums. He was so turned off. And I'm bringing this up because this just came up again today as I was discussing with one of my son's moms about the football team. And my son is on the varsity team, and by no means is he the best player. And he's had some issues with his knees, and his knees are a little weak, so we've been taking him to the doctor to find out why, what happened. So he hasn't been able to play. This coach has done nothing but demean the children, and he feels the best way to educate them is by demeaning them. And I don't know about you, but I just don't feel that's right. I don't think anybody's going to learn by you telling them that they suck or that they're no good. I think the only way somebody is going to learn is by encouraging them, letting them know what their potential is and that they could reach their potential and how they can reach it. And that is the only way to educate. And to me, I don't care what lessons you're teaching. I don't care if my son never, ever, ever learns math, social studies, or anything. As long as he learns self-confidence, positivity, and he has the courage to get up in front of somebody and speak, he will go places. There's nothing else in life that you need. All the other things will fall into place. You'll get them all. They're all lessons in life that you'll learn. I mean, this really, really upset me. And because I had been talking about the coach, which really upset me, this brought back memories of this 5th grade teacher who squashed my son's dream of ever playing the drums. And I could promise you that this coach is not going to squash my son's self-confidence. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to allow it. And nor should you. You should always advocate for your kids and make sure that they're getting the best education they can, and it's that in a positive light, that they're not being put down. There's no put downs in life. People that put you down and put your children down are holding your children back. Teach them to not listen to that, to tune that out. Teach them that they're better than that, because you know what? Every child is better than that, and every child deserves a chance. After all, they're our future. We feed them negativity, they're only going to give it back to our great-grandkids. So feed them positivity and positive reinforcement, and everything will be positive in their life. Of course, they'll meet teachers like this one who are jerks and don't know what they're doing. But hey, we can't all be perfect and positive. So, on that note, if you're interested on more positivity or reading some more of my blogs, click the link below. And we'll see you on the other side.